everybody! A couple of days ago, YouTube reminded me that it is our YouTube channel's birthday! Woo! Apparently we have been at it for 7 years. I never thought that I would do it for so long, but we have been publishing video consistently for the last 5, and I thought that today was a really good occasion to take you behind the scene of how we make those YouTube videos happen for you guys. In full disclosure, this is not really the video that I was intending on making this week, but there is a special set of circumstances that I am going to explain as we progress over the course of this video. One of them being that the weather is it's not really outdoor weather filming, is it? So this morning, before we filmed this video, I went on Instagram and asked you guys what you wanted to know about what it's like to run a YouTube channel. And a lot of you wanted to know about the gear, the software that we use, how much time editing takes. I bet that a lot of you who clicked on this video have a YouTube channel yourself, or maybe you want to create one, so I'm gonna give you all my tips. And for everybody else, I'm sure that you are asking yourself the question, can you really make a living out of creating YouTube videos? And is it fair to say that you finance someone's lifestyle when you support them on YouTube? We're gonna answer all those questions today. And with no further ado, let's go. Okay, before we start, just a quick disclaimer that I am self-taught. I am not a trained professional filmmaker. I think that we can debate professional, but definitely not something that I went to college for. So I'm sure that there are better ways to do what I do, and if there are, please hit me up. I want to know. But for now, this is what I use to get my sailing vlogs out to the world. So yeah, that was the disclaimer. Okay, and the first thing that we're going to talk about is gear, because that is probably the #1 question that you guys had. When it comes to gear, I have gone through several iterations of what I use, but what has been consistent is that I use a primary camera and then a secondary camera. My primary camera right now is a Sony a7 IV, but I started with an EOS 70D, which I believe now is the EOS 90D. I then moved on to the EOS R, which was a mirrorless camera, and now I use my Sony a7R. In terms of the lenses that I use, I never had more than 2. One that was a primary lens that would go from 20 to 70 to 80. Currently, my primary lens is this one. It's 28 to 70. And my secondary, which is actually slowly becoming my primary because I like it a lot. It's the one that I'm filming with right now. It is a... Oh. It is a Tamron 17 to 28 and the aperture is 2.8. I really like this lens because the aperture can go really high or low depending on how you look at it. And this is how I'm able to get the beautiful blurry background effect that you are currently seeing. I like to use wide angle lenses for sailing because the boat is really small and it's nice to have an all-encompassing frame in the videos. But I also like to use this guy that goes up to 70 to get shots that are a little more detailed. I like to capture the texture of sailing and the destinations that we reach. A hot tip if you're using a DSLR camera and you're invested in quality lenses, and I learned this the hard way, is to absolutely invest in ND and polarized filters for several reasons. The first one is that you want to protect the glass of your lens. Because of the nature of our activity, we get a lot of water on the lens, like droplets, spray. It's much easier to sacrifice this $10 little piece of glass than to have to send your lens for repair. Yeah. And the second thing is that when you use polarized filters for your lens, you actually get more details out of the water. You get less reflection of the water and more beautiful colors, especially when the sun is really bright and you want to get rid of that very heavy contrast. Yeah. So hot tip for your camera and lenses if you're sailing, invest in filters. But if you're starting off in filming, I recommend getting a very simple camera with a good microphone. You really do not need to use very advanced cameras and lenses to get a good story and a good video. what you need is really good audio. I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but for now, I want to talk about my secondary camera. My philosophy with cameras is that my primary camera is going to get all of those beautiful quality shots that I really like having. For example, right now, this is a quality shot, I believe. I like it. Maybe in 2 years, I look at it and I'm like, this looks like shit, but right now, this is what I use. The secondary camera is the tiny little thing that I always want to have in my pocket to capture something that is just about to happen. For a while, I had a Canon M50, which is a really great starter camera. You can change the lenses, good quality image, recommend it if you are a newbie. But lately, since last year, I have this. This is an Osmo Pocket, and it's amazing. It films in 4K. It's the same kind of image that you get out of a drone, because it's the same camera. That's what I have in my purse every day. The second secondary camera, yes, I have 2 secondary cameras, is the GoPro. GoPro is great when you sail. It's very versatile. You can use it underwater. Ryan really likes it because it's point and shoot. He can just press the button and start filming himself. There's a screen at the front so that he can see that he's actually in the frame. And the GoPro is also something that you should have on a boat because you can use it to go look at what's happening under the hull. Yeah, and we've used it like that a few times. Someone asked on Instagram what we do with Barnacle when we film. And this is your answer. We take her with us when she wants it. Okay, bye Barnacle. But when it comes to video, and it's especially important on YouTube, the image is only half of the battle. I would actually argue that the image quality doesn't matter as much as the audio quality does. And same thing as with my cameras, I have gone through several iterations of my audio equipment. This is what I use these days. I like this Sony microphone because it's really small, really versatile, it does the job, and it has a tiny little windshield. The other thing that I really like using, those wireless Go microphones from Rode. The key to getting good audio is to have the microphone as close to your mouth as possible when you speak, which is sometimes difficult to get out of a shotgun microphone. So I really like those little guys. They are super tiny, very small footprint. You can use them with a lav, which I'm doing right now, or you can just pop them on your collar and get good audio. I started with this. It's the cheapest mini shotgun microphone that you can get. I think it's called a Rode Micro. It's great. If you're a newbie, this is what I recommend you get. You can attach it to your phone or to your camera. For voiceover, I use this Blue Yeti microphone. It's a great investment. I think it cost me a couple of $100, and every time that you hear me do a voiceover, this is what I use. It also gets killer audio for your Zoom calls. Totally overkill, but it does a good job. Okay, so one of the pitfalls of filming from inside a boat, especially in this beautiful weather that we are currently experiencing, is that it gets really dark. And so what I use to get those beautiful shots is a little LED lamp. And let me show you what it does. This is a really cheap little thing that I bought on Amazon. I don't really know the name of it. I'll put all of the links to the gear that I use down below in the description or in our gear guide on the website. This is cheap and very useful, very versatile, very good, very recommend. Drones. It's so much fun to get beautiful aerial footage of the places that we get to visit. Over the years, I have gathered amazing shots with that little thing. My drone is a Mavic Pro, and I actually have 2 of them. My hot tip for you, if you are looking at getting drone footage from a sailboat, is to never buy your drones brand new. I always buy my drone secondhand, and I spend max $500 or $600 on each drone. We are flying them in too risky of conditions for me to fear losing $3,000 every time I launch this from the boat. You know, most people, they buy a drone because they're gonna go on vacation somewhere and they think that it's fun to have something that they're gonna fly. They use it once or twice and then it rots in their cabinet for 2 years and it ends up on Marketplace 2 years later at a fraction of the price. And the image quality is still amazing. Don't buy your drones brand new. Buy them on Marketplace. Another hot tip for your drone is to acquire a handle that will allow you to grab your drone when you launch it and recover it from the boat. I do not recommend trying to grab the drone from under when it's flying and you're on the boat. It's a little bit dangerous. Personally, I like my fingers. I want to keep them. DJI does not sell handles. It is something that you order either on Etsy or eBay. It takes a little bit of logistics to get them. I think I found this one on Etsy. It was 16 bucks and I paid more in shipping just to receive it, but it is well worth the investment, especially when you're going to fly your drones from a boat. Now, does having good gear is going to make for a good film? The answer is no. But I think that a part of you knew this, right? If you're beginning and you want to start a YouTube channel, I would actually recommend getting really simple gear and focus on the next step, which is editing. A lot of people ask me what I use as a software to edit, and the answer is Premiere Pro. I'm an Adobe person. That is what I learned. I know that a lot of different people use different software. This is what I prefer. Hello, hi, Sophie from the future again. Somebody on Instagram asked me how I learned to edit. So the way that I did is that I took a Premiere Pro course. It was a 4-day course for professionals. And at that time I had just started my company. I had a little bit of money in it, so I invested. And then I learned all of my more advanced skills on Skillshare. I am not sponsored by Skillshare, but there are a lot of really good filmmaking, editing, Premiere Pro courses out there that I really recommend. Because I have been publishing a new video every week for a very long time, I think I get a little bit better at it. Yeah. Editing is what is going to give your films and your channel its personality and its style. For example, creators like Sam Holmes, I think that Sam actually records everything with his phone and he edits on a tablet. No music, no sound effects. I don't think that he uses graphics. I don't know, it's been a while that I have watched Sam. Hi Sam, if you watch this, it was nice meeting you. Our style is the exact opposite. I am an editing maximalist. I believe that half of the quality of the videos that we produce is in the editing, and I love it. I think that it's fun. I write humor in my editing. I love using really high quality music. I love using beautiful graphics and beautiful maps. When it comes to music, I like to source really high quality music, and I use both Epidemic Sound, Artlist, and MusicBed. Epidemic Sound is probably the cheapest of the three. It's also where I find the most variety of music. That's where I found my cartoonish music for moments that are humoristic. But I really like Artlist and MusicBed for those moments where I really want music to enhance my story and I want the music to be unique and really good. If you're starting in filmmaking, I recommend Epidemic Sound. It's pretty cheap, but also their search engine for music is really good. I'm not sponsored by any of those companies. I would love to be. It would be great. I would love to, but that's not where I'm at as a creator currently. Because we are traveling between different destinations and we feature those in our videos, an essential element of my editing is maps. I have gone through many different iterations of map, but the one that I have been landing on is an After Effects plugin called GeoLayers 3. In full disclosure, I do not use After Effects myself, and so that plugin is used by somebody who helps me develop those beautiful and unique maps that you have seen in our videos. It is also very advanced and expensive, but if you're starting your YouTube channel and you do not want to go into very advanced tools, or you do not want to spend a lot of money into fancy plugins, I would recommend using Google Earth. It's free, it's nice, it does the job. Yeah, Google Earth. What else do you think I should talk about when it comes to editing? Oh, somebody asked how much time. Yeah, that's a big one. Editing is by far the most time-consuming process when it comes to creating a video. Again, for some creators, it takes half a day. For me, it takes multiple days. I used to spend 2 to 4 days, complete days, just editing for the channel, and I would do that every week. I did that for 4 years, and last year I decided that I wanted to dedicate my time to do other things. That thing was the course that we developed together with Bright Trip called How to Get Started Sailing the World, and it's an amazing course. We launched it a couple of months ago. The response has been amazing, but I spent literally months writing those scripts. So last year we went and looked for an editor, and we went through a long process to find the one person who could reproduce the style that we had been curating over the last 4 years, someone who could help us make everything better, and someone who we have now been working for a full year and a half, almost 2 years, I believe. But for now, I want to talk about how we work with our editor. Because it's not like we just send all of the footage and then they come up with a video and a story. No, I think that some people do it this way. But for me, it was important to still be extremely involved in the editing process. And so usually the way that it works is that I send my editor the footage with a pre-cut of the footage. The story is established. From there, my editor spends 2 or 3 days editing the video and sends me back a timeline, and I do a final cut. We meet at the beginning of the week, he does his job, I get the project back, I do the final cut, the video gets published, and we start over the week after. It's a lot of work. So with that workflow, my editing time went from having to spend 2 full days and more on editing to maybe half a day to establish a pre-cut and a project, and less than half a day to finish the video, export it, publishing it with everything that that involves. I think this is probably where we talk about why I am making this video today.
Sure.
So if you've been following this channel and regularly watching our videos like every week, you probably noticed that in the last couple of weeks, there has been none. And that is because as we were reaching the destination that we're currently at, our editor kind of back to you, dear viewer. You're probably thinking to yourself, what's the big deal? Why can you not take editing back over? You've been doing it before, you can do it again. And it's a lot more complicated than that, because it's not like the time that I gained by hiring someone to do the editor is now free time. It's work time. And I invested this time in work that actually pays me, which is probably a great transition into the financials of YouTube. Okay, so a while back, I was on YouTube looking for content to consume, and a video was suggested to me, and its title was, "How much money do Ryan and Sophie Sailing made?" I had not made that video, and for the purpose of entertainment, I encourage you to go and look at it. It's not accurate. To research this video, I went back to look for it and I realized there's another one. But also it's fascinating that 800 people found the topic interesting. I don't know what to think about that. Okay, we're gonna try to answer the question, do you pay for people's lifestyle when you support their content, whatever way that is? And is it reasonable to expect making a living out of putting sailing videos on YouTube? And the short answer to both those questions is no. I think that there are about 1,000 to 2,000 YouTube sailing channels at this point on the internet, in the YouTube sailing channel creators group on Facebook. There's about 1,000 members, but I know that there are way more than that out there. Out of those 1,000 to 2,000 YouTube channels, how many of them can you name? That's right. And that's probably as many that make money out of YouTube. Now, obviously, not everybody gets into YouTube thinking about it becoming their jobs or making an income out of it. That is not how I went into it. In full disclosure, between year 2 and year 4 of doing YouTube pretty much full time, I attempted to do that. And then I get really tired of being broke. It is very difficult to make money out of YouTube, but making a living, that's a whole other ballpark. And we're gonna try to discuss this together. Sophie from the future again, with a little bit more context, because yeah, technically I wasn't completely broke, but also I was really dependent on having to make one video every single week to maintain a basic level of income. And this is very difficult to achieve, especially when you are alone working on it. For most people who do it professionally, they are a couple, and so both of the partners will be working on the channel. For me, Ryan has another job, and so I was really alone. And when we crossed the Atlantic back in 2021, I couldn't put out a video for an entire month, meaning that, well, I mean, for a couple of months after that, I was broke. So I really needed to find another source of income. So I decided that I was going to transfer the money that I was making with YouTube to an editor and find myself another source of income while the channel would continue to grow. And maybe with the time that I was freeing, I could take care of projects that in the long term would create a little bit more income, such as the course that we have been putting together. But also I didn't want to make my income dependent on my lifestyle, and I wanted to keep my videos, my films, a passion, something that I do because I love doing that. And so I got a job, I hired an editor, and now every video that I put out, I do it because I really enjoy it. Okay, but that doesn't answer the question, how much money do I make? So advertising revenue at 70K subscribers and with between 20 to 30,000 views per video, we make between $1,000 and $2,000 per month. Patreon is a huge variable because our patrons sponsor us per video, but they can cap how many videos per month they want to sponsor. So I think that for the first video, our patronage is at $700, but if I make 2 or 3 or 4 videos a month, the patronage decreases for each video. I also don't always make 4 videos per month, and so that number really varies. So what I can say is that our YouTube channel doesn't really make us money. It pays for itself. Would I like for my YouTube channel to stand for my income? Absolutely. You know, just like you, I have dreams and aspirations that cost money, and then, you know, maybe someday when I hit 60 years old, if all goes well, I will want to retire and I need to save money for my pension. Other ways that we make money are t-shirts. We sell Ryan's t-shirts on our website, but we're not really good at promoting them, and so we don't sell them a lot. We also sell our course on how to get started into sailing the world, which we're really passionate about. If you're looking at getting your foot into the sailing life, but you don't really know where to start, our course is the resources that we wanted to have 7 years ago. What are other ways that we make money, Ryan?
So t-shirts, hats, our course.
Affiliate links.
Affiliate links.
That's right. Affiliate links are a free way for you guys to support this channel if you want. For example, all the links that I put in the description below to the equipment that I use, those are affiliate links. So I earn a little commission out of those purchases that you make. It's not much. I think that maybe we make like $200 a year of affiliate links. We also have affiliate links with West Marine. It's a completely new thing, and we're currently putting together a gear guide of all the things that we have on board that we love using, and we can't wait to launch it. Hopefully that's a way that we can make a little more income. But really, that's it. We make a little bit of money on the YouTube channel every year. Typically, that money is spent in replacing the equipment that gets broken because it is used in extreme conditions, or upgrading my equipment. For example, this month, I have been working a lot with my consultancy in the last 2 months, and it's my birthday in 2 weeks. And so I'm gonna buy myself a nice lens that I have been dreaming of for a long time, and I can't wait to shoot with it and put that footage in my videos. Producing those videos is really hard. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and if I was only doing this and editing everything myself, there is no way that I could continue to do it because I would simply not make enough money for me to live. And I know it because I tried and it didn't work. So the next time that you see an advertising in some of your favorite YouTubers' video, instead of unsubscribing and booing in the comment section, just spend the 60-second, it's free. It helps your favorite creator make a little bit of extra income, save money for their retirement. Yeah, just don't be that guy. I'm glad we could talk about this. I feel like we needed to set the record straight on, you know, what it takes to create those videos that you watch on the regular versus what creators make out of it, and how it really is a tiny majority of the channels that you watch that actually make an income and a living out of their content creation. And so maybe you're asking yourself, Sophie, if you don't make money, why do you do this? And the reason is just because I love making films. I love getting beautiful footage, and I love putting together that footage in a way that makes you feel what I feel when I live those experiences. Very selfishly, I love to create those films to keep the memories. I love going back in time and watch videos from 2, 3, 4 years ago and remember the landscapes, the feelings, the emotion, the color of the water, and also sometimes the hardships, because that's life. Not everything is great and beautiful. Sometimes shit gets real. You know what I mean? I also love connecting with you guys over the years by just being ourselves and, you know, creating those videos. We get to meet a lot of friends, and that has a value that surpasses any financial gain that I could make out of the channel. All right, so one of the reasons why I made this video today is because, well, first, our editor is not editing for us anymore. We are currently in the process of finding a new editor. I think that we found a couple of people who can help us continue to make the videos the way that we like to make them. But it's really hard to find someone who speaks your language, who understands what it is that you are trying to do with your content. And so maybe in the coming couple of weeks, things are gonna look a little bit different. I hope not, because, you know, at the end of the day, I still edit, I take care of that final cut. But if it has a bit of a different vibe, then you know why. And now that you know exactly how we produce those videos, and if you want to support the video production, you can join us on Patreon. We actually just overhauled our Patreon page. With the insights, the knowledge, and the wisdom that we acquired in the last 4 years, we've recreated Patreon, revisited the tier so that at whatever level, you can get something really fun. So if you want to join our community of realistic sailors, you can click the link in the description, and yeah, we look forward to see you there. All right, that was a long video. Have you watched all the way through? I am impressed. I hope that you get something out of it, and I will conclude with a couple of words for you who are looking at starting a channel. Do it. I think that sailing YouTube is not some zero sum. Saying that there are too many YouTube sailing channels is like saying there are too many books in the world, there's too much music, there are too many movies. No, come, join in on the fun. It's great, it's a good time. But my advice would be to not get it with the expectation that it is going to finance your lifestyle. All right, thank you so much for having watched this video, and I will see you very soon when we have a new editor. Bye.